going on YouTube? It's Pelfrey. This is the Red Sea Reefer 250. I am still dealing with some algae in the tank. I've been blowing the same bed a little bit, trying to keep the glass as clean as possible, but after a couple days, the glass just gets covered back up. I am running carbon and roll-of-phos in the BRS mini reactor, powered by CCHA 0.5, I believe. So, as far as corals are concerned, I did get some new corals, folks. This thing is struggling to hang on. The green slimer is still doing okay. And I don't know the name of this coral, but it is starting to encrust on the rock, which is very, very, very exciting for me. I did previously have the acans on the sand bed, and I found out, in my opinion, they just like it better on the rockwork. So I've got everything glued to the rockwork up off the sand bed now, minus the mushroom skeleton farm back here. But alkalinity dropped to like 8.7, which is where I've wanted it ish. Nitrates are still holding steady between like 4 and 6, and phosphates with the roll-of-phos have been dropping. They were almost like 0.2, now they're like 0.14. So I'm pretty satisfied with the direction of the tank. Let's take a look at the frag rack. Now I bought 2 frags of corals I said I would never ever keep, just because I don't like the toxicity of them. But right up front here, I'm gonna butcher the names, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know the names of them, but I've got 2 frags of zoas, and the plan is to either put a rock here or a rock here and isolate them from the rockwork. And we've got some other pieces here. They've been in the tank for a couple days now, so the colors are so-so. It's a Paletta pink tip that is a forest fire digi, and it looked better yesterday. Green bird's nest, a purple stylo, and a chunky WWC slime ball. So my objective here was I still wanted some SPS, but I also wanted a couple other corals, and I figured if I threw a rock down here, I could put some zoas on it and they would isolate themselves. Wouldn't have to worry about them taking over the rockwork or anything like that. The wrasses, you can see they're going after one another. Just trying to figure out who's in charge here. Just part of an aquarist, I guess. Look at that wave. That wave is being provided by 2 Tunze 6055s, upgraded, mind you, to 6095s. Now, the power block, if you've watched any of my previous videos, has not been upgraded, but we have a wide flow now, and that gets me the super wave in the tank. And from time to time, they're synced up. Other times they're not. If you look in my equipment cabinet, you can see that, like for right now, left pump, right pump, left pump, right pump, they're running anti-sync, but that's really not by design because the pumps are not talking to one another. So kind of got lucky there, but my issue was this forest fire digi was not poking its head out. It wasn't extending its polyps. And now, since I've increased the flow, you can see I've made the zoanthids extremely mad. So I was talking to one of the guys that I talk to all the time. He's no longer just like a reefing buddy. He's more so like a buddy at this point. But Scurvy, with Scurvy's Reef, if you don't follow him on YouTube or Instagram, you probably should. He's got 110 gallon. It's beautiful. But I sent him a picture of the forest fire digi earlier, and the polyp extension on it was subpar. I mean, it was okay. So he said, you should increase the flow. So what I did is I actually because they're already running at 100%. Increased the pulse, and I am using the set wave or the auto adjust and set wave function on the pumps here. So that's why, or how I get the wave in the tank. But I moved this pump this way, like towards the front of the tank a little bit, and I actually pointed this pump towards like probably right here, whereas it used to be pointed like over in this area here. Now it's hard to tell with my finger, but that's what's so great about social media and being able to communicate with one another, because otherwise I probably would have killed the forest fire digi had I not been able to reach out to somebody so quickly and said, hey, what's going on? And he informed me, you know, I trust him. He's been doing this way longer than I have, so he informed me, of course, that the torches love lots of flow, the hammers are so-so, and that these orienteds will adjust. And to be honest with you, this frag here has already started to open up a little bit. I had just watched a Bulk Reef Supply BRS video earlier talking about the different levels of reef tanks, and the mixed reef tank was definitely, in their opinion, the hardest to keep, because you're trying to keep different parameters, different light intensity, different flow for all the different corals. And you know, that's the path that I'm taking, is a mixed reef tank. So of course it's going to be the most difficult to keep everything happy. Taking a 100% gamble right now with the screen top off of the tank, but it's a beautiful day here in Kentucky, so I decided I would spray it off, get any salt creep or anything else that was stuck to the mesh or the frame guard off of it. This is the DD Pro kit. It's got the black mesh. You can see that I did Dremel some of it out there. Basically, you know, it's a great kit, and I just wanted to spray it off and get the salt creep off of it, because there was quite a bit. And this is something that I do on a routine, but I really love to do it whenever it's warm outside. Went ahead and moved the frags off of the frag rack. So I had a can over here with the other A cans. This guy's looking good. The Zoas, not sure, but again, they're on their own rock there. I don't remember what this is. You just have to bear with me there. Bird's nest, the pink tip paletta, the slime ball, the purple stylo, and the red digi. So I did, you know, as you saw earlier, take the screen top off of the tank to clean it a little bit, and I'm not sure if the pieces are going to stay there, but I did try to direct the flow upwards so that the corals aren't getting hammered with flow. So we'll just have to see how that goes in the near future. You know, super gluing the corals was easy. Used some bone cutters to get them off the plug. Now, I did leave one of the Zoas on the plug back here, and I left the pink tip paletta on the plug because it was already encrusting on the plug. So, and I don't know how this slime ball is going to grow, if it's going to grow like that, but I decided I was going to mount it like that, and it might be a bad idea. Oh, this is another piece here that's got some super glue on it. Let's see if I can focus on it. But I put it there. It's a encrusting SBS. It's a Jason Fox something or another. I'm not really sure, but the red digitata looks like it's going to open up for me. The stylo, I'm not really sure. It might still be getting hammered too much by flow. We'll just have to see how it goes. And you know, that's the bad thing about having such a short tank with the flow that I have in here. You know, I'm running two Tunze 6055s in here with 6095 upgrades, which means that they just have a wide flow pattern. And you know, it's nearly impossible, especially on the upper section of the rocks here, to not blast corals with flow. So I'm gonna see how these corals, oh, excuse me, I'm all right. Oh, I'm gonna see how these corals do over the course of a couple hours. And I'm definitely gonna get the screen top back on here ASAP because you can see the wrasses are still fighting, and the last thing that I want is to have a jumper in here. Matter of fact, let's go check on the screen top now. The screen top has been sitting out here for about 30 minutes or so, and looks pretty dry to me. So we're gonna just go ahead and take it back inside, get it back on the tank so that we don't have any jumpers, because ultimately that's the last thing that I want. You know, I don't want to see any fish deaths, period. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. You know, I gotta try to manage the cords to get it in here. There we go, we got that side. And get in there, get in there. So close. Then we got that side, so there we go, folks. So I did have, again, a ton of salt creep, like just all over the screen top. And I like to try to maintenance that a couple times a year. It's easier whenever it's warmer outside because I could spray it with the water hose, get all the salt creep off of it, and I don't have to worry about light penetration or anything like that. So again, let's keep an eye on the corals, see how they do. Just a short while later, and it looks like the stylo is gonna open up. Looks like the forest fire digi is gonna open up. I'm not sure about the slime ball and the paletta pink tip, but everything else is looking pretty good in the tank. We'll wait for the Zoas to open up. That'll come on a future update. As always, I appreciate you following along. Be sure to check out the website at pelfrey.net. Check me out on Instagram. I post all kinds of content on Instagram at Pelfrey's Reef, all one word, PELPHREYSREEF. Check me out on Instagram. Oh, the bird's nest. We got some polyps coming out on it in its new place. So we got the projector going on in the garage. We're just hanging out, having a good time. Hopefully everybody else is having a great time. And I'll catch you on the next one.